n'hésite pas avec De Conente, elle est assez lucide sur ses performances. Après, je pense qu'elle est tellement soulagée de retrouver ce niveau de ski. Elle sent que les portes s'ouvrent dans cette équipe en plus où ça claque de tous les côtés.
Et puis elle a le sourire accroché aux lèvres là, Julia Simon, en allant sur...
Mais on a le sourire quand on prend un relais comme ça, c'est trop bien. Elle sait qu'elle va passer un bon moment. Alors évidemment que ça va être difficile, mais les distances sont raccourcies. Ça va être un jeu au niveau du tir. Elle aime jouer. Elle est avec Emilien, donc elle sait très bien qu'ils ont une équipe performante. Et on part sur une boucle qui est un petit peu moins exigeante, dans des conditions hyper fondures, glissantes, avec là du coup déjà le retour sur le pas de tir, donc ça va être ultra rapide comme on l'a dit. Juste un petit aller-retour dans le champ où ça peut éventuellement jouer sur une fin de parcours. Mais en tout cas, il n'y a pas de grosses difficultés.
C'est assez froid quand même.
Full attaque.
Moins 9 quand même pour la température de l'air.
Ouais, c'est pas non plus...
Here we go then, and welcome to Antolz. It's round 6 of the Biathlon World Cup. We've got a weekend full, 2 relays today. The mass starts tomorrow, and then they have a break before the World Championships. 25 teams lined up for the single mixed relay. Bråsen nearest the camera in Swedish colours. Tandrevold, the World Cup leader, in the middle. And then Julia Simon over on the far side, who is on very good form and closing in on the leaders of the World Cup. So it's a talented field out there. Austria with Lisa Theresa Hauser on the first leg. Hauser has had 9 podiums in this event, Ian, but we just haven't seen any form from her this year.
No, it's a shame. I think the Hauser and Simoneda pairing over the years has been very successful, hasn't it? But we've just seen very little from either of them this year that would suggest that today they would make the podium. I think sometimes you can, 1 or 2 extra days of acclimatization at this level can make a big difference. And they've both had plenty of experience racing at altitude. The fact that they're still in the team together for Austria is really a salute to them for their consistency over the years.
It's the veterans team, isn't it? Ada at 40, Hauser at 30, so average age 35. No one else can match that today. Julia Simon setting the pace, Bråsen just behind her, Tandrevold just a little bit sort of bunched up back in 3rd place, and that's an issue, isn't it, Ian? These tracks are very, they're fantastic width when you compare them to tourist tracks, but once you get 2 side by side, you've got to be a little bit careful. You've got to cramp your style a bit.
Yeah, as we can see here, slightly wider on this last little bit of uphill, but there's not much room to overtake once there's 2 athletes, 1 on each side. The track here, they're approaching the highest point now, and if you look at Tandrevold, I don't think she's working anywhere near 100%, as you would assume that Simon is not far off that, taking the lead here. But once they get over this rise, then it's a relatively easy descent back to the stadium. And from this point on, from now, it starts to become about the shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Julia Simon, one of the advantages of being one of the stronger skiers is that you can go in front, everyone shows you respect, and you control the pace of the race. I don't think she wants to be going 100% at the moment. She wants to save her skiing for the second, or her second leg.
Well, you're right, although I do think she's giving Mona Bråsen and Tandrevold an easy toe now. It makes it so much easier for them. I think part of it is just the mental ability to relax. So for the first just 2-3 minutes in this race, all Bråsen and Tandrevold have to do is just sit there and relax and just think about resting the muscles that aren't working, and look forward to the first time they come under the bridge and into the range.
Yeah, you mentioned that word, relax, and it's so important, particularly in this sport, because you want the minimum number of muscles to be activated. You want the oxygen to be going to the muscles that need it. And if you can stand on the ski 100% relaxed, you are that much more efficient than anyone else. And the only other sport that I can think where it's similar is K1 paddling, in those kayaks that aren't much wider than a pencil. And when you start, all your effort goes into staying upright. As you get better, those muscles relax, and you can start to put the energy into the muscles that generate the speed. Similar sort of scenario in skiing.
Correct, yeah, and watching them, they look the best athletes, those best paddlers look so powerful, and yet just cruising, relaxed. And that's the same with the finest, most technically talented cross-country skiers. It looks like everything is working in one direction going forward.
Yeah, with beginners, you can see the tension goes from the fingertips to the earlobes and then down. It's something that takes many, many hundreds of hours. What is it? 10,000 hours to perfect. So here we go. First shoot on this single mixed relay. Remember, each athlete goes twice. Germany happy with the way their targets are falling from Vogt, who's on their first leg. 5 out of 5, very nice. They have spare rounds as it is a relay, but each one 7 or 8 seconds. Tandrevold has missed, Brawson has missed. Maybe they weren't finding it so easy behind Julia Simon, who is away and gone. The Americans with Irwin go 5. Estonia have all the targets down, Canada as well, but suddenly having had just 20 seconds separating the whole lot, we are going to be closer to 35-40 by the time they all exit the range. There goes Lisa Theresa Hauser of Austria, already giving away time. Tandrevold at 14 seconds in.
Yeah, 14 seconds, and half of that was the time it took to get the first shot away compared to Simon and Vogt. But the other half was just the standard 6-7 seconds it takes to lose that one spare round that she needed and avoid that relatively short 750-meter penalty loop that you visit if all 3 spares fail to hit the target.
Julia Simon's target. Yeah, she looked pretty solid in the prone yesterday. Well, out they go on to their second lap, and it's only a couple of K, so they're not out there for very long. We've seen more teams lapped in the relays this year than at any other stage. That must be a bit of a concern for the IBU.
Yeah, it never looks good when you see athletes being pulled out, does it? And it's quite demoralizing for the athletes themselves. You end up, it forces teams to just go fastest to slowest in all of the relays, and that's never the best strategy if you're trying to develop a team as one of the lower nations.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any solutions? Reduce the penalty for a missed shot, but then that changes the game altogether.
Well, I think it's multiplied, isn't it, when there are other factors impacting the performance at the front. If the weather conditions dictate a little and spread things out a bit further, then it becomes quite a negative, demoralizing experience, both for the athletes and for the spectators, I think. And when the gaps become so big, then it starts to become almost impossible for the race order to change, so it loses some of its momentum.
Yeah, we've had that a few times this year. Something we missed out on, 2 teams on the penalty loop after that first shoot, and they find themselves over 40 seconds behind. Italy are one of them. Rebecca Passler, 1 penalty loop from her, and we only get the flags on the computer. I think it's Bulgaria. Yes, it is. Team 22, Bulgaria, also doing a penalty loop. So Italy and Bulgaria putting themselves at a massive disadvantage, and the local fans will be so disappointed with that.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise from Rebecca Passler. She's had reasonable success in the relay over the last year or so, just off the podium on 4 occasions in one relay or another, and usually shoots well. So that's a bit of a surprise, and you know it will make things very difficult for Lucas Hoffer, who we know, if you put him in headless chicken mode, then it just tends to go from bad to worse.
So Julia Simon leading into the range for the second time, and she was part of the last French team to win, as I mentioned, back in Pachuca in 2021. She was teamed up on that day with Antonin Gigana, one of his big successes.
Вторая стрельба. Всем привет.
Down to the IBU Cup, winning races there, brought back into the World Cup. So,
Симон, первый выстрел чисто, второй чисто. 3 чисто, 4 мимо. И 5 мимо. Германия, Ванесса Фойт. Франция чисто, Германия чисто, Австрия закрывает. Остальные испытывают трудности. Америка, США закрывает. Польша закрывает. Швеция 2 промаха. Ребят, всем привет, кто присоединился. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, тут трансляции биатлона. Первое место занимает Франция.
So straight from the range to the exchange. So that second shoot on the first 3 legs is so crucial. And then the final leg, the men will ski an extra loop. So they don't just have 100 meters to ski after the last shoot.
Словакия 20-я, Латвия 21-я, Корея 22-я.
The Italians one more missed target, but paying a penalty on the first shoot today. Latvia have missed 5 so far.
Нурслун Тан, привет. Германия, Австрия, ты болеешь.
France actually got on the podium, having done 2 penalty loops.
They did, didn't they? Yeah. So it didn't go well all the way through
Так,
the race.
замялась чуть-чуть, Ванесса Фойкт. Тебе спасибо, что зашел. Так, первое, второе место Германия, третье United States. Америка.
I'm sure that was a misprint somewhere, Patrick. But no. I did indeed, and I think the last time Sweden won, it didn't go well.
Ребят, подпишитесь, кому не трудно, на мой канал. Тут трансляция про биатлон.
Well, Sweden are currently in 19th place, 53 seconds behind. That is a
Швеция плохо. Мона Брорсон плохо прошла свой этап. Сейчас мужчины. Посмотрим, на что они способны.
So what do we have? 40 seconds separating the top 15 at that first exchange, which is a big margin. We've had some really tight relays so far this year, and we've had some very good pursuit races as well. I missed, who was that? Was that the American Campbell Wright, I think, picking up a spare pole? It was, yeah. Yeah, that will take his mind off the preparation for this first shoot in the second leg.
Подходят мужчины к стрельбе уже на стадион. Стрелоу, Емельян Жаклен. Первая лёжка для мужчин. Посмотрим, кто же начнет стрелять первым. Германия первый. Попал, второй попал. Третий чисто. Очень быстро стреляет. Стрелоу. Молодец. Франция промах. Хотел уже побежать. Австрия чисто. Швейцария чисто. Америка чисто. Джастон Стрелу первое, Кристиансенс второе, Симон Эдер третье место. Жаклен только шестое из-за промаха. Видно, как Италии трудно. Это Лукас Хофер. Только сейчас он закрывает, но вот отставание уже большое. Ребят, кто присоединился, всем привет. Тут одиночная смешанная эстафета, мужчина плюс женщина. Пишите в чате, за кого болеете, за какую страну. Кто хочет поддержать канал, ссылка по трансляции поддержки канала, ребят.
And hopefully we'll see something decent from her in the mass start tomorrow. These are the targets of Justus Strello, who seldom misses nowadays.
Просто не могла понять, как настроить. Пестон Джастон Стрелло первое место. 0,6 проигрывает Кристиансен. Симон Эдер 8,8. Жаклен выходит на 4-е место.
Right at 10 seconds, he came out 14.7, so he's on the charge again. I must say, delighted to see him do so well. We have seen some great races from Campbell Wright. He comes from New Zealand, but he's got a dual nationality with USA, switching across to the American team. The Junior Worlds last year, Ian, he was sensational.
He was, isn't it? I mean, yeah, you were just, the fact that you've mentioned the juniors, I was about just to point out how young he is, you know. Many of the athletes he's now competing with and looking at, it's funny, he looks around when he's in the leading pack and almost as if to say, yeah, I'm here too, and he's so young, so he's got a long way to go yet, and it is good news that he's got the strength of the American system to help him, because sadly the New Zealand...
Спасибо, что зашли в данную трансляцию, ребят.
The groundwork in New Zealand for cross-country skiing and biathlon just isn't there, and the American system will really help him to get the best opportunities over the next decade.
Yeah, and the Americans have always employed international coaches and technicians, so they're trying to get the best from everywhere, and that has been the right approach. It's certainly working in cross-country.
Стрелло перед стрельбой. Девушки готовятся. Да, буду. Виталий. Итак, стойка от мужчин. Стрелло начинает пальбу. Стрелло 4 точно, 5 точно. Стрелло очень быстро стрелял. Норвегия промах. Стрелло молодец. Отлично. И Ванесса Фойкт выходит на первое место. Германия. Норвегия с допатронами закрывает. Франция попасть не может. Жаклен мажет. Швейцария 3 промаха. Эстония закрывает. Франция все же закрывает.
Halfway through the race, that is just a brilliant result from the veterans so far. And as you said, the USA going out in 4th, just behind them.
Ну, Жаклен хоть попал в этот раз. На штрафной круг Швейцария. Корея тоже ужасно просто. Кто там, Лапшин бежит или кто, ребят? Просто промахи за промахами. Уже 2 штрафных круга.
They've only gone and missed another 2 shots since then, so things are starting to look up for the Italians, but they've got a lot of work to do. Switzerland dropping down
2 штрафных круга. Швеция ужасно. Самуэльсон. Самуэльсон ужасно. Просто кошмар. Да, второй эстафета тоже будет. Заходите, подписывайтесь на канал, вам придет уведомление.
or is it harder?
Oh,
Когда трансляция будет?
yeah, good question.
Так, Германия
Patrick.
первая, вторая
I would say
Норвегия
it's easier
проигрывает
than an interval
20 секунд,
session,
почти что Австрия
physiologically, but
третье
much
место
harder psychologically,
с нулями.
of course.
Но Самальцин, я не знаю, что с ним произошло. Но мне кажется, это последнее место.
And if Vogt is rapid with her fingers, she could miss 3, reload them, and still come out with a very, very slim lead. That's not how she's thinking. She's thinking that if she can build that 19 to 25, then Strello could stroll all the way to the finish here in Antolz. But there's quite a powerful train behind them. You will have seen Norway in there, Austria, USA, France are 37 behind, not out of it, but they've got to get a good leg in here, and Julia Simon might be just the person to produce that.
Yes, she can do it and often does, and I think if Vanessa Vogt knew that it was Simon who was chasing her down 19 seconds behind, that would create just a little more pressure, I think, for Vogt. It's bad enough having Tandrevold and Hauser there, but if it was Simon, who is just always seems to be the hungriest female athlete out there, that would be even tougher.
Yeah, but one of the issues that Vogt has is that these skiers at 19 seconds are going to come in just as she lets that first shot go. She has to be 100% focused.
Well, she does have
Так, Ванесса Войкт готовится к стрельбе.
It doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time you can see them disregard what is going on around them and just once again shoot the way they've shot thousands and thousands of times over the summer.
Yeah, Vogt.
Ребят, подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте лайки. Кто хочет поддержать канал, ссылка под трансляцией есть. Так, Ванесса, чисто, 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 чисто. И последний выстрел, чисто. Молодец, Ванесса. Посмотрим, что ответит ее соперница. Лиза Тереза. Пока чисто. Молодец, Лиза Тереза Хаузер, чисто. Тандервольд, чисто. Симон, промах. Симон мажет. Америка на штрафной круг отправляется. Посмотрим, что Молдова. Промах. Молдова один промах пока что. Эстония чисто. Молдавия закрывает Украина. Чехия, Канада, Италия, Швейцария. Польша, Латвия, Словения. Все закрывают пока что. А Швецию вообще не видно. Но Швеция это провал, ребят. Швеция провал просто.
I can't see a comeback for them now. Switzerland haven't missed a target, but a long, long way down. But they've put their stronger athletes in the second race of the day. Everything slightly low left, Ian, but a brilliant group.
Ребят, пишите, за кого болеете, кого поддерживаете, кто вам нравится в биатлоне.
Here they come, and Tandrevold just putting in an extra little burst, trying to close that gap down. They were at 20 seconds. I suspect Vogt is on a high after hitting the targets. Yes, she's pulling clear very, very
Ванесса
slowly,
Фойгт,
but
Тандревольд
every second in
проигрывает
this game counts
21.
because it can afford you
Лиза
a missed
Тереза,
target. She can't afford a
22
penalty loop,
секунды.
but a couple of misses and Germany will still
Julia
be in
Simon.
the lead. What about Julia Simon? She was at 38.5, and that hasn't got any better. So it is Vogt of Germany who is the quickest skier at the moment in the leading four.
Yes, she may pay for that. This is the last bit of
Симон
skiing that
проигрывает
she's
уже
going to do.
39
Remember, she
секунд.
hands over, and then Strello has 3 loops to do, and I think it's that third loop that will make all the difference.
Дедра Ирвин.
He knew he just had to hit the target.
Плюс
and then get to the
57.
handover. On the
Минкинен,
next time he does that,
58
well, he's got an extra loop to
Стремаус.
ski, and that changes the dynamic
Молдавия.
of that final leg for the Germans.
Yeah, this possibly the most pressured shoot of the season, maybe apart from yesterday's. Vogt was one of very few, one of only 2 athletes to clear all 20 targets yesterday, and it just
Ребят, поставьте лайки трансляции, чтобы ее продвинуть в топ.
behind Heike Gross, the race winner. Tandrevold extending her lead in the overall. Interesting, Ian, last year at this stage, after 13 races, there were 200 points. There were only 2 women within 200 points at the top of the table.
Сейчас будет стойка. Это очень интересно.
This year we have 8 athletes within 200 points.
Для особенно Тандревольд.
Isn't that great? And let's hope it stays that way all the way to the end of the World Cup. Be great if we go to
Спасибо за лайки, спасибо, ребят.
and it's that tight for
Спасибо,
those last few
спасибо.
races. Let's say if it was that tight for the very last race, the mass start, it would be fantastic.
Certainly will.
Спасибо, кто ставит сердечки, очень приятно. Итак, стрельба, смотрим. Ванесса Войгт, Германия.
Remember, they have never won a single mixed relay World Cup. Is this their day? A little bit low. 20 out of 20
Пока
yesterday.
чисто.
9 out of 9 so far today.
Чисто, Ванесса, молодец.
Finishes it off with a perfect shot. And Vogt will hand over
Великолепно.
to Strello, who could have a very easy job if Norway and Austria
Тандревольд
start to miss
мажет.
targets. How
Австрия
would you
мажет
miss?
Тереза.
The pressure so much greater
Мажет.
when you're up against your opposition in the range.
Лиза Тереза, 1 выстрел.
I think we're looking
Попала,
at a
молодец.
30-second lead, perhaps. Well, that was a very good last shot from Hauser, having to do a reload.
Норвегия 2 промаха.
Now is in trouble. Julia Simon
Норвегия
clears
3
by.
промаха.
A
Я
good
же
cross
говорю,
up in the
испытание
third
для
position.
Тандревольд. Стойка для нее слабое место. 1 выстрел и 1 незакрытая мишень. Будет ли штрафной круг? Нет, не будет. Стремаус промах. Дедра Ирвин чисто. Америка. Украина чисто, Италия чисто. Молдавия попала. Пока Германия, Австрия и Франция лидеры. Передали мужчинам. Ребят, кто хочет поддержать канал, под трансляцией есть ссылка. Также ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал. Тут биатлон, который я очень люблю.
That's true. It's still a tough job for the Italians to get into the top 3.
В Америке уже был штрафной круг, и она на 5-м месте.
He's had a win, an individual win here in this stadium, which he shared with Simon Schemp, and he, you know, this is where he trains. He knows these tracks better than most, better than anyone, perhaps, other than Dorothea Vera, who is racing this afternoon.
Стрелу.
Стрелять
Стрелу очень хорошо даже, молодец.
Yeah, he's starting to knock off the tail enders one by one. Wouldn't be surprised if 5 or 6 teams are taken out, although who is that who's gone?
Но пока все идет к тому, что Германия победит.
Almost 3 minutes behind last time we saw them.
God, that completely throws my predictions to pot, doesn't it? But
yeah, then did you mean third from the bottom, which is where they are at the moment? 2:46, the gap back to.
Симон Эйдер обгоняет Кристиансенс.
Yeah, I think that's Korea that have been taken out. We'll confirm that just a little bit later on. Strello, yeah, you're absolutely right. He looks fantastic at the moment. And what a time to come to good form in with the World Championships a couple of.
То есть Норвегия уже на втором месте получается, ребят. Подскажите. Раз она уже догнала, получается, Австрию обогнал.
One of them will probably shoot clear. I predict the other one might have to dip a few times. So we might see Austria on the podium behind Germany.
He's hardly missed a prone all season. And he doesn't like doing it at the moment. Lovely shoot, fast, accurate, and he will take a 20-second cushion at least into his penultimate lap. Remember, the last runner has to do an extra lap after that second shoot. So there's one standing shoot to come for Strello, and Germany in the best position they've ever been in this relay.
Huge
gap. Suddenly, there's a weird pressure that comes over you, and it's called expectation. Miss from France, so Austria go clear. Christiansen now, if he's quick, he might catch up with Jacquelin, and we'll have a race for third. We are going to have a race for third. Jacquelin taking an age to get it down. He will be in the slipstream of Christiansen, and I just sense that those are the 4 teams that will be fighting out for the top 3 places today. Well done, Austria, but can Simon Ada find it in him to hold off Christiansen and Jacquelin, who probably take 20 seconds out of him every loop?
I think it's unlikely, isn't it? Great to see Campbell Wright clear again, so they are going to get a fantastic Hoffer, though, fast, quick shooting. Can he take Campbell Wright on this last loop? As you said, he knows the course really well and would know where to go.
Yeah, he's only got 3 or 4 seconds. I think Wright is a match for Hoffer in terms of skiing. So what I'm hoping is that Wright controls this penultimate lap.
Вроде восстановилась. Восстановилась, да, ребята, я не знаю, что такое случилось. Иногда вот такие лаги идут.
Yep, another big test. So Campbell Wright and Strello today, both performing brilliantly, punching above their weight at the moment.
Without looking at the screen in, how many targets have the Germany missed?
I don't think they've used any. I don't think they've dipped at all yet, have they?
No, you're absolutely right. They're the only team not to have missed. Now,
ребят, поставьте лайки, кому не трудно продвинуть канал. Джастин Стрелу. Эдер проигрывает 32 секунды. Кристиансен 33, а Жаклин 33,7.
I think both Christensen and Jacquelin have had to work very hard on the previous loop, so they're paying for it a little bit now. And I think Simon Ada is skiing at the speed he would normally ski at, and so they've matched him relatively easily.
Yeah, Christiansen was, 28 seconds, 27 seconds down on Austria and Simon Ada. So you're absolutely right. He's stormed that first lap and probably quite grateful of a little bit of a breather this time around.
Yeah, I think if there was a chance, if the person in the lead, let's say it was Ponsaloma or Jacqueline, who was that 30 seconds ahead, then that would be
Ребят,
different
спасибо за лайки,
tactics.
кто
Christensen would
ставит.
be
Очень
thinking, well, there's a
приятно.
chance something will go wrong ahead, but we're talking about just
Ну что же,
Estrella here, who is very unlikely to completely melt down.
8 кругов из
So you're
9.
right, it starts to become much more of a tactical race.
Yeah.
For silver and bronze.
And if you were to put your house or maybe your dog on
Последняя
who
стойка.
was going to shoot best out of the chasing three or who was going to miss targets in the chasing three, I suspect you wouldn't back Jacqueline.
No, I wouldn't, and I'm kind of sorry to say that because when he's great, he's a fantastic entertainer. He's great to watch, but it just hasn't been good so far this year. Unlike
Джастин
the German
Стрелу.
we're watching now, who's going to
Не
just give
подведи
us all a
свою
lesson on
команду.
how to win a single mixed relay.
So Germany yet to miss a target.
Промах.
Oh, there's the first miss. And suddenly the tension rises.
Разволновался очень.
Back to normal. Good recovery after
Давай,
that miss on the
Джастин.
second shot. And if this goes down, Germany are home and dry.
Чисто.
Well done to them. First ever victory.
Ну, думаю,
coming
это
their way.
победа.
They've got a short lap to ski. The celebrations start. They know they will not be caught on this last lap.
Поздравляем Германию с победой.
But what a shame. A clean sweep with the targets would have been something sensational. Just that one miss. Now the battle for second and third. Austria with a miss from Simonetta. France
Жаклин мажет.
as well. Christensen, who's been slow and deliberate all day. But
Жаклин
beautifully
3
out.
промаха.
He misses number 5. He's not
Австрия
the Iron Man
промах,
after all.
Норвегия промах.
Well, France and Jacqueline,
Все волнуются.
I guess that was somewhat inevitable.
Австрия закрывает, Норвегия закрывает.
Christensen is away. I suspect Norway will come
Будет ли
second,
у Жаклина
Austria
штрафной круг?
So Jacqueline now in with a high probability of going on the penalty loop.
Штрафной круг, к сожалению, у Жаклина.
Oh my goodness. Campbell Wright
2 штрафных круга у Жаклина. Не смог совладать с эмоциями, к сожалению.
Have they got a chance of getting into the top 3? I don't think so.
Oh, 22 seconds to catch Ada. Well,
Лукас Хофер, 4 место, Италия. Расторгуев, 5, Латвия. Инвениус. 6 это Финляндия. И Жаклин только 7 с 2 штрафными кругами.
I can't. Can you see Christensen getting caught in third? I think Christensen will probably, by the time we see him again, will be ahead.
Отметка 12,7 километров.
Will have got a split. He'll know he's got 22 seconds advantage over the chasing pack. Well, Christensen just settling in. He'll pick his moment.
Но я думаю, что он обгонит Эйдера. Но для Австрии 3 место хорошо. Я так думаю. Да, Норвегия, думаю, 2 место займет. Все верно, Дмитрий.
But he didn't, I don't think he knew who was going to be chasing him out of the range. Enough of a margin, though, probably at this stage to guarantee that he's going to get silver. It's a shame, I think, to see that Ada is working reasonably quick here, but Christensen is just playing with him and will be able to turn
Лукас Хофер.
the afterburners on in a few minutes.
Yeah, Ada is getting tighter with every stride.
Мария, вам спасибо, что посетили мою трансляцию.
We will update you on the progress of those behind. Ada at 37, Hoffer now at 55. So 4 seconds have been taken out of the Austrians so far. I think Christensen's move is inevitable. It's just a question of when it comes. They're not even trying to chase down the Germans, who are 37 seconds clear at the moment. There goes Christensen. He chooses a very, very useful stage over the hill.
Еще будет смешанная эстафета. То есть 2 мужчины, 2 женщины. Скоро.
Incredible turn of speed from Christensen and a decisive one as well to take second place. Now it is all about whether Ada can hang on, and I think he will, Ian. I think he has only got a kilometre to go. It's going to be another podium for him, the 9th time he's made the top 3 in a single mixed relay.
Итак, финишная прямая, ребят.
Austrian supporters here cheering as they see Ada coming into the stadium. In a way, it's a shame it's just not a little closer. We're not going to see any sprints for the podium in the single mixed relay, I should say.
So Strello milking the moment, and so he should.
А он хочет флаг взять? Да, флаг Германии. Побеждает Германия. Ванесса Фойгт и Джастин Стрелло. Норвегия второе место. Ингрид Тандревольд и Кристиансен. И третье место Лиза Тереза Хаузер и Симона Эллер.
That is a massively popular result. Austria is only about 400 meters away up over the valley, and I suspect a few have skied down to watch this one. So Austria 3, Italy, after a really shaky start from Rebecca Passler, to get back within 37 seconds. They were 50 seconds behind after the first shoot-in, so they've done really well.
Yeah, absolutely superb, and I guess the home crowd helping them and the local.
Италия четвертое место, Ребекка Паслер и Лукас Хофер.
Goes the other way. Unlike Jacqueline for the French, you know, he's going to be feeling he's really let Simon down today. That'll be hard to get over, I think.
Yeah, Strello goes for the fist pump, and Vogt having nothing of it. I want a hug after that one. Quite right too. It's well worth celebrating, and I think this event is growing. It always takes a little bit of time for a new format to become popular with the.
Спасибо за просмотр, ребят. Приходите на следующую трансляцию. Эту я завершаю.
Nice to see a greybeard